Hello again, NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in the NCAC. I'm your host, Brett Billhart. On this week's show, we'll take a look back at all the action from around the North Coast Athletic Conference for the week ending on Easter Sunday, March the 31st. We'll open this week's show by recognizing our weekly Golfer of the Week award winners, as there were only 3 league squads in action last week. In women's action, DePaul shot a .339 and finished 5th out of 16 teams at the predominantly Division I Low Country Intercollegiate in Hilton Head, South Carolina. The junior duo of Paige Gooch and Kelsey Smith garnered co-NCAC Women's Golfer of the Week laurels after the tandem finished the event in a tie for 14th in the individual standings with identical scores of 83. In men's golf, Allegheny and Wittenberg traveled to the West Coast for the West Cup in Jurupa Valley, California. Wittenberg carded a 3-round total of 886 to finish in a tie for 3rd in the final standings, while Allegheny finished 9th out of 16 teams with a 54-hole total of 901. Wittenberg junior David Wetterick earned the NCAC Men's Golfer of the Week award after finishing in a tie for 14th in the individual standings with 219 strokes, which included rounds of 74, 74, and 71. NCAC golf squads continue action this week, highlighted by the Allegheny, Denison, Ohio Wesleyan, and Worcester women's squads competing at Capitol's Purple and White Invitational on Saturday and Sunday. Let's now step into the starting blocks and recognize our weekly award winners for both men's and women's track and field. First, for the women, Denison senior Michelle Clark earned the weekly award for distance and middle distance events after she won the 5,000-meter run with a time of 17:56.64 to help the Big Red finish in a tie for 4th at the Carnegie Mellon Mini Invitational. The women's weekly award for sprint and hurdle events went to Oberlin junior Sophia Brancazio, who finished 8th in the 100-meter dash with a time of 12.70 seconds, and 9th in the 200-meter dash with a time of 25.91 seconds to lead the Yo women at the Emory Classic. And finally, Worcester senior Abina Boma Achimpong garnered the award for field events after she won the high jump with a school record and John P. Papp Stadium and Carl Munson track record in the high jump after clearing 5 feet, 7 1/4 inches to help the Fighting Scots finish 2nd overall at the Worcester Invitational. And now for the men, the weekly award for distance and middle distance events went to Denison freshman Mitch Keller, who finished 2nd overall in the 3,000-meter steeplechase in a time of 9:55.49 to lead the Big Red to a 2nd place finish at the CMU Mini Invite. A Big Red student athlete also collected the award for sprint and hurdle events as freshman Jordan Patterson earned the honor after logging 3 wins at the CMU Mini Invite. The Cincinnati, Ohio native posted wins in the 100-meter dash, 200-meter dash, and as a member of the winning 4x100-meter relay team. The final men's weekly award for field events went to Wabash junior Kenton Armbruster, who finished 3rd in the javelin throw with a heave of 14.55 meters to lead the Little Giants to the team title at the Hanover Invitational. NCAC track and field squads continue action this week, led by Denison, DePaul, Kenyon, Ohio Wesleyan, and Wittenberg, all competing at the annual Marv Fry Invitational held at OWU's George Gauthier Track in Delaware. We'll now shift our attention to the courts and look at the NCAC men's and women's tennis action from last week. There was minimal men's action, however, Ohio Wesleyan racked up a pair of 5-4 victories over Cedarville on March 25th and against NCAC East Division foe Worcester on March 27th. Battling Bishop Jr. Richie Carbon was named the NCAC Men's Tennis Player of the Week after posting a key come-from-behind victory at number 3 singles against Cedarville and winning in straight sets at number 2 singles and earning an 8-5 victory at number 1 doubles with senior John Rissell to lift the Bishops over the Fighting Scots. NCAC men's divisional tennis matches will pick back up this week with Oberlin hosting Worcester on Tuesday, Wittenberg traveling to Wabash on Saturday, and Allegheny entertaining Ohio Wesleyan also on Saturday. Turning to women's tennis, DePaul closed out its spring break trip in California with wins over nationally ranked UC Santa Cruz and Wisconsin Whitewater, while Oberlin posted a perfect 3-0 record against Carleton, Virginia Wesleyan, and St. Olaf in Hilton Head, South Carolina. Oberlin senior Farrah Leclerc picked up her second NCAC Women's Tennis Player of the Week award for the spring season after the Ocala, Florida native went 5-0 in play last week. She posted a 3-0 record at number 1 singles and continues to play well with doubles partner Grace Porter as they won matches in the number 1 singles position against Carleton and St. Olaf. NCAC women's tennis divisional matches also continue this week, with Denison hosting Kenyon on April 3rd and Allegheny hosting Ohio Wesleyan on April 6th. We'll now shift our attention to the Diamond, where NCAC baseball and softball squads opened up league play last weekend. In baseball, divisional series got underway with Wittenberg taking 3 of 4 against Wabash, Worcester winning 3 of 4 against Kenyon, Oberlin going 2-0 against Hiram, and Denison and DePaul splitting with 2 wins apiece. The Denison Big Red earned the series split against DePaul, thanks in part to a strong pitching performance from this week's NCAC Baseball Pitcher of the Week award recipient, Kyle Cogain. The Bethesda, Maryland native earned the win in DU's 4-2 victory on Saturday after working 7 2/3 innings, while allowing 1 earned run, scattering 8 hits, and striking out 4. Wittenberg jumped out to a hot start in NCAC West Divisional play after taking 3 of 4 against Wabash in Crawfordsville. Tiger senior Graham Wolf was named the NCAC Baseball Player of the Week after finishing the 4-game set with a .365 batting average and an .813 slugging percentage. He posted 1 home run, 1 triple, 2 doubles, 8 RBI, and 4 runs scored. The senior from Lake Bluff, Illinois, keyed the Tigers' 4-2 win in Game 1 of the series with a 2-run go-ahead RBI double in the top of the 5th inning to put Witt on top for good. In addition, Worcester took 3 of 4 from Kenyon in NCAC East Divisional play, and Allegheny picked up 3 non-conference wins last week as the Gators knocked off Teal 10-5 on March 29th and then swept the Twin Bill against Kuka on March 30th. Non-conference midweek baseball games are again on the schedule this week, while divisional play will return to the slate over the weekend with 4 divisional series on the docket. In softball, Kenyon and Ohio Wesleyan jumped out to early leads in the league standings after posting doubleheader sweeps over Oberlin and Wittenberg, respectively, while Denison and Allegheny also split a conference doubleheader in Granville on Saturday. The Kenyon ladies took 2 from Oberlin behind a strong pitching effort from sophomore Maddie Stark, who started both games in the pitching circle and fanned 17 batters along the way. Stark, who was named the NCAC Softball Pitcher of the Week for her efforts, now owns a 10-0 record on the year with a 1.64 ERA. In non-conference action on Saturday, Hiram split a doubleheader with Chatham, winning Game 1 6-3 and falling 4-3 in the nightcap. Terrier Jr. Jessica Bolans garnered NCAC Softball Player of the Week laurels after the Randolph, Ohio native went a combined 3 for 6 at the plate in the Twin Bill with a 1.167 slugging percentage after smacking 1 double, 1 home run, and driving in 5 Hiram runs. The Ohio Wesleyan Battling Bishops jumped out to a hot start in NCAC play with its doubleheader sweep of Wittenberg. The Battling Bishops were led in the circle by junior Danny Haley, who fired a 5-hit shutout in the opener, while sophomore Chelsea Denman led OU on the afternoon by going 4 for 8 at the plate. NCAC softball play continues this week, highlighted by Hiram traveling to Worcester for both squads' NCAC opener on Saturday. And finally, we'll close out this week's show with a quick look at NCAC men's and women's lacrosse action. On the first Saturday of NCAC women's play, Denison, DePaul, and Wittenberg all earned their first league wins of the season. The Denison Big Red remained undefeated overall, with a hard-fought 17-14 win over Allegheny in Meadville. DU sophomore Molly Chapman tied the program's single-game assist record in the contest with 7 helpers, and also added 3 goals for a career-high 10 points. Her 7-assist afternoon was the most since Jean Walsh also dished out 7 assists in a win over Allegheny in the 1998 season. the Greenwich, Connecticut native did earn NCAC Women's Lacrosse Player of the Week honors for her record-setting performance. In other league action, the Wittenberg Tigers stuck by Ohio Wesleyan by a 16-13 margin, thanks in part to a 5-goal effort from sophomore Logan Ware, while DePaul posted its first ever NCAC win with a 27-1 victory over Hiram in Greencastle. NCAC women's lacrosse action picks back up this week with 8 games on the slate, including Worcester traveling to Allegheny tonight, April 2nd, for its conference opener. In NCAC men's lacrosse action, Denison, Ohio Wesleyan, and Kenyon all remain perfect in NCAC play, with wins over DePaul, Hiram, and Oberlin, respectively. In fact, the Kenyon Lords earned a pair of 1-goal victories last week as they took down Otterbein 8-7 on Wednesday and rallied from behind to defeat Oberlin 7-6 on Saturday. Sophomore Nikki Leonard scored the game winner against the Yeomen with just 15 seconds left, while senior Mackie Avis garnered NCAC Men's Lacrosse Player of the Week accolades after leading the Lords with 6 goals on the week. The Grand Rapids, Michigan native scored the fourth quarter game winner against Otterbein and then netted 2 goals in KC's comeback win over Oberlin on Saturday. In other league action on Saturday, Denison handed DePaul a 23-1 defeat in Granville, while Worcester knocked off Wittenberg 9-8 behind a 2-goal, 1-assist effort from Harry Kemp. NCAC men's lacrosse squads continue conference games this week, with Oberlin hosting Denison tonight, April 2nd, Kenyon traveling to Ohio Wesleyan on Friday, DePaul entertaining Worcester on Saturday, and Hiram visiting Wittenberg also on Saturday. Fans, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can log on to our website at www.northcoast.org. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. And for the entire conference staff, I'm Brett Billhart, and thanks for watching.